Now on CoastTV News.
Justice for Gavin continues. Oral arguments scheduled in the case against the man charged with hitting and killing the Worcester County teenager.
Lawsuit dropped. The court ruling that granted the motion to dismiss made by this high school and district.
They're all concerned about it.
Flooding issues right outside of Milton here on Cave Neck Road. Neighbors calling for action for what some are calling a sinkhole problem.
Land development, some zoning issues to still work out, but what would you like to see on 65 acres near the intersection of Route 1 and Route 16?
And it's been a gray kind of day all day long, but Tuesday we turn on the bright yellow sign, so to speak, till the rain shows up again. We'll talk about the timing of both in just a moment.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Deteriorating roads right outside of Milton, and people want answers. Good evening, I'm Charlie Sakaitis.
And I'm Mallory Metzner. Welcome to our News at 11. We begin tonight with safety concerns on a major roadway.
DelDOT says Cave Neck Road is on the list for a little tender love and care after the damage that was caused by recent storms.
CoastTV News reporter Charles Reinert shows us how bad that damage is and why locals say it needs to be fixed sooner than later.
Gravel and sand. That's really all that's holding this part of Cave Neck Road together. And that's the way it's going to stay. For now.
All of Milton is concerned.
According to DelDOT, the roadway took a beating during storms earlier this month. And since then, the roadway has looked more like a lake after any time it rains. Dan Along says it's a problem.
I have a son that lives down the street, and even he says he has a lot of doctor appointments, and they come into town and go Route 5 because after a big rain, because they're not sure, whether they're going to make it across that road or not.
Some online have gone as far as saying there's a sinkhole there, though CoastTV has not confirmed that to be true. But the question is when? And Long says it can't happen soon enough.
This street from 7:30 to 8:30 is like bumper to bumper in front of my house on Atlantic Street. So those hundreds of people that come to work in Milton every day must be concerned, because that's going to cut a lot of time if that road's not.
There are more dark clouds heading our way later this week.
And we're getting a lot of rain coming in the forecast.
And with no fix yet in place, drivers in Milton have a sinking feeling about Cave Neck Road. According to DelDOT, they're still figuring out the logistics of how this is going to get fixed, so there's no set time on when construction could begin, though we will keep you posted when a date becomes available. I'm Charles Reinert in Milton, CoastTV News.
New at 11, we have an update. The man charged in relation to the deadly hit and run of Worcester County teenager Gavin Knupp will be in court again soon. Oral arguments for Tyler Mayu have been scheduled for March 1st at 9 a.m. Charges against Mayu were dismissed last summer when a judge ruled that they had been improperly filed in circuit court instead of the District Court of Maryland. Now, Maryland's Attorney General is arguing that the dismissal was wrong and is asking an appellate court to reverse it. Lawyers for Mayu have made an opposing argument. The appellate court will now hear from both sides a little over a month from now.
And for a bit of background on this case, Gavin Knupp was 14 years old when he was killed in a hit-and-run accident while walking in the Ocean Pines area. This happened on July 11th, 2022. While Mayu has been charged, it's important to note that all 17 charges he faces are for violations of motor vehicle law.
Let's take a live look outside into Salisbury University as we check on the weather tonight. It's a little chilly out there, so let's check in with our first alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams, who joins us now with a look at the forecast. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening to you, Mallory. And right now we're primarily concerned about very gusty winds and possibly a concern for us, particularly along the bayside and right along the coast for folks that are in Sussex County, because we have a coastal flood advisory that's active right now. Now, when we say advisory, let me define that for you. That means we're watching out because it could maybe happen, okay? So think of an advisory as a maybe, a watch as a looks like it, and a warning as it's already happening, okay? So this is more of a maybe, just keeping a close eye out on it. Now, we do bona fide have a small craft advisory, which means we're watching out for 25-mile-per-hour wind gusts along the shore. That's along the entire peninsula. Coming up, we're going to go into more details for the next round of rain headed in our direction. Mallory?
Thank you, Paul. And for more weather updates, make sure to pull out your phones and scan the QR code for our First Alert weather app. You can download the app for free to get all the weather updates you need.
New at 11, Delaware's violent crime rates are at the lowest point since the state started tracking the statistic. The Department of Justice said that it's a 40% decline since 2008, with gun violence rates down 20% since the spike during the pandemic. Attorney General Kathy Jennings attributes these statistics to Delaware's criminal justice system working more effectively. She says Delaware's prison population has also fallen by around 25% since 2019. A lawsuit filed against Sussex Central High School and the Indian River School District has been dropped. Anaya Harmon filed the lawsuit after a video of a school fight was shared in which her breast was exposed.
And according to this civil order, the Delaware Superior Court found that the district was not responsible for the conduct of Principal Bradley Layfield and Assistant Principal Matthew Jones, like Anaya Harmon was claiming in her lawsuit.
Judge Calvin Scott says Harmon was suing for a meme that was created of her from the fight video that showed her exposed breast. The court says the publication does not fall under the category of work Layfield or Jones would have been hired to do. The dismissal acknowledges Harmon's claims that sharing the fight video during school hours were wrongful, but says that's not the legal wrongdoing in her case.
Layfield's attorney Thomas Newberger pledged to get all claims dropped, saying in a statement to CoastTV, quote, "The claim against Dr. Layfield also is without merit, and we will be seeking to have it dismissed in due course by the Superior Court." And, quote, "The claim he should be terminated is politically driven," unquote. Newberger also says that a school board discharge hearing for Layfield has been set for February 15th.
We reached out
to Harmon's attorneys and the district, but we haven't heard back yet. Layfield received notice of his termination on November 20th.
A 65-acre development project near the intersection of Route 1 and Route 16 gets the green light from Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission. Developer Ocean One Holdings LLC still has not said what would be built on this land specifically, but the zoning change they want would open up the area for everything from a gas station to a store to even a water park. For people that live close to the property, their opinions are not so cut and dry.
As someone who used to work on the farmland at Totem Farms locally, I have a huge passion for keeping Mother Earth as she is. At the same time, we are a growing community and a growing town, and I would love to see this town flourish. The only way to have that happen is to bring in more businesses, offer people more jobs, more homes, more development.
Next, the Sussex County Council will be holding a public hearing on the development and ultimately decide on the zoning request. Council hearing is February 20th at 1:30 p.m. And this brings us right into our CoastTV poll. We want to know, what do you see on, or do you want to see on Route 1 and 16? Let's take a look at the results.
Look at your screen here. It looks like just 12% want the water park, 48% say shopping center. There's a lot of options than a shopping center. 31% say a hotel. 9% say a gas station.
Now, if you haven't voted yet, if you have a strong opinion one way or the other, you can go do that at coasttv.com or use our CoastTV mobile app.
A drone attack on a U.S. base near the Syrian border kills 3 American soldiers.
The first fatalities in months-long attacks by Iranian-backed rebels.
As Alice Barr reports, President Biden says the United States will respond.
The White House is vowing to retaliate and working through options after 3 American service members were killed in a drone attack on a U.S. military base in Jordan. The Pentagon has now identified the 3 soldiers killed as 46-year-old Sergeant William Jerome Rivers, 24-year-old Specialist Kennedy LaDon Sanders, and 23-year-old Specialist Brianna Alexandria Moffett, all from Georgia. Explosives hit the facility's living quarters as soldiers slept. More than 30 were injured.
We lost 3 brave souls in an attack on one of our bases, and we shall respond.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin doubling down today.
The President and I will not tolerate attack on U.S. forces and we will take all necessary actions to defend the U.S. and our troops.
The soldiers who are part of a mission to fight the remnants of ISIS are the first Americans killed in months of strikes by Iranian-backed militant groups since the start of the Israel-Hamas war on October 7th. Iran is denying involvement in this weekend's deadly drone attack, but one of the groups it backs, the Islamic Resistance in Iraq, claimed responsibility, partly in revenge, it says, for Israeli military actions in Gaza. The Biden administration has long sought to keep the conflict from spilling into a wider war.
We do not seek another war. We do not seek to escalate.
Members of Congress are reacting, with some leading Republicans demanding a more forceful response against Iran. U.S. allies in the Middle East are condemning what they called a terrorist attack and warning of further turmoil in a region already on edge.
As questions swirl over how this deadly drone attack could have happened, NBC News has learned that Senate leaders in both parties have asked the Biden administration for an all-Senate briefing this week on the details of the strike.
Here are some things you should know. Millville residents looking to get into the political scene. There are a pair of town council seats open for the election that's being held on March 2nd. If you haven't submitted your forms yet, you are running out of time. Those forms are due no later than February 2nd at 4:30 p.m.
And voters in Bridgeville have a municipal election coming up on March 2nd. The town is looking for candidates to represent districts 2, 3, and 5 for full 2-year terms. Candidate filing deadline is February 2nd. The voter registration deadline is February 20th.
Beautiful canals in South Bethany, but there are lots of problems underneath the surface. New data showing South Bethany's canals are significantly worse than they were a year ago, with dissolved oxygen levels up 70%. Less oxygen in the canal means no fish and more algae. The town is discussing adding nets to catch debris and clean up the water, and dredging the canal first to give it a deep clean. But there are ways that homeowners can also help to improve the canal water.
We'd also like to have homeowners in town take the responsibility for closing down these things that drain into the canal, and take more responsibility about allowing, cut grass to blow into the canals and such, because all that adds to the pollution level and to the problem we have every year of an algae bloom.
The South Bethany Council are looking for other ways to help the water quality in the canal. They'll be discussing this more during their next meeting.
We are thrilled to announce that Coast TV has a brand new Facebook page for the latest in news, exclusive content, and interactive discussions. Make sure to visit and follow our new page. Just head over to facebook.com/CoastTVNBC or scan the QR code on your screen. Stay connected with us.
And we're just getting started tonight.
Still to come, climate migration, rising tides pushing some people inland, but you may be surprised by who's heading away from the coast first.
Stick around also so I can update you on the latest changes as it pertains to our coastal flood advisories and wind advisories that have been issued in our area earlier today.
And next, demolition project, an old building torn down so that a new, better building can go up. We're going to be back in just 60 seconds.
When you visit the Delmarva Design Center, you'll experience a selection of appliances, cabinetry, countertops, tile, and flooring all together in one showroom. The 10,000 square foot location has a variety of inspiring samples for any project size or budget. Your dedicated product experts and designers collaborate to bring your dream project to life. Come and see what the kitchen industry buzz is all about. Experience the Delmarva Design Center in Selbyville, Delaware, serving all of Delmarva's coast.
Take your career to the next level with a company that truly cares about their employees. Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Brazier's Pest Control is looking to add full-time service technicians and clerical staff to join their team. Why Brazier's? Competitive pay, weekends and nights off, no holidays, and full benefits package. Plus, each technician gets their own fully equipped vehicle. Brazier's Pest Control is committed to providing a healthy work environment, ongoing training, and quality service. If you have what it takes to join Brazier's team, call and set up your interview today.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
Let the demolition begin. It's a project that's been a long time coming. The old City of Rehoboth Beach Patrol Lifeguard Station That's being torn down to make way for a newer, better facility. Crews started to break the old Baltimore Avenue building down this morning around 10 a.m. The demo just one step towards a new 2-story, 5,500 square foot building. That new structure will include public facilities on the first level and beach patrol on the second. And even though it's an upgrade that is needed, even though the old building was pretty broken down, the patrolmen and women who worked there will still miss it in a nostalgic sort of way.
Sort of our family house, per se, where the guards met in the morning and when the guards leave at the end of the day. So there was always that we have on top of our door that the finest lifeguards pass through this doorway, but at the end of the day and at the beginning of the day. And that will carry on in the new building. But that's what this whole building meant to us.
This new building is supposed to be built to last. The outside of the building will be pre-finished fiber cement siding and other durable materials.
2 right whale slow zones are now in effect off the coast of Ocean City. The Maryland Department of Natural Resources says the presence of right whales was detected south of Ocean City. Boaters are asked to slow down to 10 knots or less. The slow zones are in effect through February 8th.
Right now, we're keeping a close eye on things. We could see a little bit of rain begin to come by and just pay at least a brief visit by midweek. Then aside from that, we're looking pretty clear and pretty dry for most of the work week. Right now, courtesy of our Seaford camera and Tidal Health, we have a temperature of 41 degrees. The wind's relatively calm, but last measured coming out of the north pretty steadily at this point. Now, keeping in mind that we're looking for temperatures to go from 38, let's say, down to 35 by 2 o'clock, and then down to 32 degrees, right at freezing, by the time we get to 3 o'clock in the morning. Another point of view in Ocean City, courtesy of our Hershey's exterior camera, actually 40 degrees with the dew point temperature of 29, so we have relatively moist atmosphere in place. So we have the cloud cover that will stay a bit on the thick side. We'll drop down to 37 degrees at 2 o'clock in the morning. Then the mid-30s is where we'll go by the witching hour, which I'm told is actually 3 o'clock in the morning. Just learned that today, by the way. Small craft advisory is in effect for the Rehoboth Beach, Dewey Beach, watching out for 25-mile-per-hour winds. Same concern we have for Ocean City and West Ocean City as well, until at least, let's say, 6 o'clock in the morning for Wednesday. Now, we also have an advisory that's been sent out as it pertains to coastal flood areas around Sussex County. Now, this is really dealing with bay areas as well as along the shore, and that's because we're watching out for possibly some inundation to occur. We're keeping a close eye on some of the tides that could possibly pose a problem there. But on a wider view of right now, of our active weather right now, not much happening at all. We have a stationary boundary to our north, and we're really quiet in the upper atmosphere throughout a good portion of the east coast. 40 degrees for most areas, with the exception of 39 in Lewis, Milton, Milford, and in Greenwood. Now, our boardwalk forecast for tomorrow, we're going to stay cloudy all day tomorrow, and we're going to stay cloudy and windy. So it's going to be a very uncomfortable day, all right? It's going to be cooler, windy, cold, and cloudy, a little bit of sunshine, if any at all. We start off at freezing, end up at 41. That's for Tuesday. Even Wednesday's, on the shady side, so to speak. 40 degrees, slightly above it or below it at the beginning of the day, and we'll peak at about 45 degrees, but still the winds are out of the northeast, so it's still a cold situation. Now, last thing we're going to cover before we close out. You see those waves? By 7:30 Tuesday, we're looking at possibly a bit of a high tide between Chincoteague and Ocean Pines for us by 7:30, and then it'll subside for us by Wednesday night. Now, as far as between, let's say, near Fenwick Island, it's a little different because by 1 o'clock in the morning, we're looking for the higher waves then, between 4 to 8 feet, actually, as a result of our tracking those waves. And as you go up along the coast, though, we're looking for it to calm down more, and we'll see more in the way of sunshine for Thursday with temperatures near the 50-degree mark for us along the coast. Here's a look at your extended forecast. We are going to watch out for that rain, particularly by Friday.
Paul, thank you. Coming up next, financial fitness, the skills you can practice at the Lewis Library next month.
Toyota is the official automotive partner of the NFL, with a lineup that can't be beat. And with plenty of vehicles in stock, there's less waiting and more saving. So head into your Toyota dealer. We'll make a game plan just for you. Buy a Tundra now with 4.99% APR, or go with a Tacoma and get 3.99% APR. It's game on at Toyota, official partner of the NFL. Toyota, let's go places.
Homeowners frequently face unexpected heating and air conditioning expenses at the most inconvenient times. For a limited time, Coastal Comfort is offering a worry-free 10-year guarantee on select systems for as low as $199 a month. Customers will also receive 10 years of parts, 10 years of labor, and 10 years of maintenance, but only with Coastal Comfort. Discover peace of mind with Coastal Comfort, keeping your home comfortable and hassle-free for years to come. Coastal Comfort, a Carrier Factory Authorized Dealer. Carrier, turn to the experts.
When you want a new or restored residential or commercial deck, roof, or balcony, contact Delmarva Roofing and Coating to make the switch to DuraDeck today. For over 15 years, they've been consistently one of the largest installers in the U.S., installing over 1 million square feet of DuraDeck decks. With at least 10 years of experience, their certified installers install the pre-manufactured sheets to almost any surface. Plus, Delmarva Roofing and Coating also offers warranties for water tightness and aesthetics. Make the choice that lasts. DuraDeck. Find out more at delmarvaroofing.com.
At Atlantic General Hospital, we've been busy. Busy expanding healthcare services that are second to none in our region. From cancer care and women's health services to orthopedics, gastroenterology, and more, we provide advanced health technologies delivered by top providers. Expert care every day. It's what you can count on from Atlantic General Hospital.
Making money news, the Lewis Public Library has a workshop next month that teaches financial fitness. A financial advisor will touch on everything from healthcare needs to estate planning, retirement, and more. The workshop is on February 21st from 1 to 2 p.m. Register ahead of time or walk-ins are welcome. Some things to know to plan ahead. There's a blood drive in Ocean View next month. The town and the Blood Bank of Delmarva are hosting this drive. You can go to either website to book your spot. It will be at the Community Center on West Ave from 12 to 5 p.m. on February 23rd. Bring your ID and remember, eat a good breakfast.
Next week is Burn Awareness Week. The Delaware State Fire School says burn injuries continue to be one of the leading causes of accidental death and injury, and that's why this initiative raises awareness about the causes and ways to both prevent and care for burn injuries. This year's theme is flammable liquids, raising awareness for a common cause of injury. Coming up in sports, we'll meet a father who has worked hard over the last 5 years to transform his physical fitness and keep pace with his kids.
But first, rising sea levels could lead to climate migration, a new study suggesting who is likely to move first.
Tomorrow at 4 on Coast Life, discover Black history through art at Rehoboth Art League's inspiring expeditions. Uncover the Alof's hotel charm. Plus, we debate if social media really is social. Coast Life tomorrow at 4 on CoastTV.
Sam Calagione here, inviting you to visit Dogfish this off-season. Enjoy daily specials at our locations like 12 wings for only $10 on Sundays and wood fire nights every Tuesday and Thursday in Rehoboth at Brewings and Eats. Or check out $15 lobsters on Lobster Sundays next door at Chesapeake and Maine. At Milton's Craft Brewery, visit us weekly for Monday trivia, Tuesday craft cocktail night, and more. Come explore goodness at our Dogfish locations this off-season. Cheers.
Have you been putting off correcting your smile?
Consider Smiles Correct Clear Aligners from Tillman Orthodontics.
We'll reach out to your insurance for you.
And provide interest-free in-house financing.
I got free financing and made easy monthly payments.
Smiles Correct aligners are made right here at Tillman Orthodontics.
Unlike other clear aligners, at Tillman Orthodontics, the materials, the contours, and the treatment plans are fully customizable.
A customized plan just for me.
Did the sun come out or is it my smile?
You can only get Smiles Correct at Tillman Orthodontics, so call today.
For the freshest local oysters on the shore, trust Harbor House Seafood. Our harvest begins at sea, straight from the heart of Chesapeake and Delaware Bay, aboard our boats, ensuring that only the finest oysters make it from harvest to plate. With our commitment to freshness and quality, Harbor House Seafood should be your first and only stop for local oysters, fresh seafood, and premium Black Angus beef. Surf and turf has never been this fresh. Harbor House Seafood, your surf and turf market in Seaford, Delaware, and online at harborhouseseafood.com.
Start something new during the Customer Appreciation Month at McGee Motors.
Start a new adventure in a Jeep Grand Cherokee Overland with rebates plus McGee Customer Appreciation Cash up to $8,000 off. Start the all-new Dodge 20 RT for just $229 a month. Load up a Jeep Gladiator with rebates plus McGee Owner Appreciation Cash up to $12,000 off.
Start our new Chrysler Pacifica and get $10,000 in Customer Appreciation Cash on us.
We appreciate you more.
At McGee Motors in Georgetown,
A family tradition since 1948.
Our up-and-coming designer series is back, and we're going bigger than ever before. And on the next Tamron Hall, this designer is following his passion for fashion at age 63. On the next Tamron Hall.
Tuesday at 3 on CoastTV.
While our coastal population has boomed in recent years, new research shows that our current growth could come to an end. In fact, a new study suggests that younger people will migrate away from coastal areas in order to avoid the effects of climate change.
Our meteorologist Alex Seymour shows us what's behind the study and what that could mean for the people who stay.
Delmarva is no stranger to coastal flooding these days. Over the last couple of months, the area has experienced several storms that flooded roads and made areas hard to navigate. New research by Professor Matthew Hauer found rising sea levels could soon change populations as younger people retreat to inland cities. Dr. Hauer's study used census data, geological statistics, and recent migration trends after natural disasters such as Hurricane Katrina.
When we think about this in terms of climate migration, the people who are most likely to move in response to sea level rise are going to be young adults, young workers for the most part. So who's left behind in many of these communities becomes essentially older adults who are the ones who remain in increasingly environmentally precarious areas.
And if only older adults stay in flood-prone areas, Hauer says unfortunately it's a matter of time before the population dwindles. Since 1950, Lewis has seen over a 400% increase in the number of high tide flood days. The reason for that increase being a rise in sea levels of around 10 inches since 1950. Since impacts of sea level rise are already happening, Dr. Hauer says the timetable for climate migration is sped up.
Some areas that are threatened by sea level rise already are heavily threatened. They could see impacts as recent within the next 10 or 20 years.
One fear is that a sped up timetable on climate migration may lead to a shortage of vital resources like doctors for the aging population in the near future. I'm meteorologist Alex Seymour, Coast TV News.
A court-appointed monitor keeping track of the Trump Organization says she found some mistakes in financial disclosure forms. Judge Barbara Jones was appointed as part of the former president's civil fraud trial in New York. She says some of the documents she reviewed are either incomplete, have errors, or are inaccurate overall. Trump's legal team fired back at Jones and said her findings were minor and represented simple math errors. Judge Arthur Engoron is overseeing the civil case. He's expected to rule as early as this week on the penalties for Trump that he could face for fraudulently exaggerating his net worth so he could obtain favorable loans. New York authorities are seeking $370 million from the Trump Organization.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
In tonight's player profile, we meet a father from Delmarva that is showing it's never too late to focus on your physical health and see how training can transform your life. Doug Wilhite wasn't involved in many sports growing up, but 5 years ago, his competitive drive came out when he joined the adult program at Athlete Academy.
I was looking for some way of getting myself back in shape after 20 years of really not caring for myself, and tried it out, and it's become a weekly commitment ever since.
Over time, he's seen a dramatic improvement in his fitness level, which has allowed him to be active with his kids.
I've got 3 teenage sons that are really active, both surfing and skiing, and when I started this, a big part of it was I couldn't keep up with them, and now I'm almost able to keep up with them, which is a lot better than it was.
Doug says the energy and youthful vibe of the program keeps him coming back every week.
It's really a very positive and fun environment. They do a great job of teaching me and all of us how to push ourselves as far as we're willing to be pushed and then a little bit farther. And it's been a great learning experience for what I'm capable of.
The camaraderie is another reason why he looks forward to sessions at Athlete Academy.
And everybody here is very happy to be here and also very committed, and so it's a very like-minded group of people that are all trying to be a little bit healthier and also have a little bit of fun.
While at Athlete Academy, Doug believes his fitness goals are possible.
Looking to get a little bit more fit. I have no doubt that if I stick with this, I'll do just fine.
Reporting from Fruitland, Maryland for the Delmarva Sports Network, I'm Michelle Roberts.
Sticking with sports, test results that came to light after a figure skating team event in the 2022 Winter Olympics have resulted in a 4-year ban for Russian figure skater Kamila Valieva. Then 15-year-old Valieva tested positive for a heart medication that can boost endurance. She led her team to a first-place finish. The U.S. placed second. No medals were awarded. Switzerland's Court of Arbitration for Sport found Valieva guilty of an anti-doping rule violation. Her scores have now been disqualified. The International Skating Union said it will release a decision on the results of the team event from the Olympics on Tuesday. Coming up next, Name That Plow, the winning name that cleaned up this DelDOT competition for Sussex County students.
My dry eyes made me a burning, stinging 5 times a day.
Makeup smearing, drops user.
I want another option. That's not another drop.
Tirvaya. It's not another drop. It's the first and only nasal spray for dry eye. Tirvaya treats the signs and symptoms of dry eye disease fast by helping your body produce its own real tears. Common side effects include sneezing, cough, and throat and nose irritation.
Relying only on drops? Not me. My own real tears are my relief.
Ask your eye doctor about Tirvaya.
It is important to have a supportive employer in your corner, a company that offers on-site health care to save you time and money. That's right, access to a doctor's office while at work at no cost to you. Work schedules to fit your lifestyle, matched 401k to prepare you for retirement, paid vacation, and more. A company that you can count on and grow with. A company that you can have a career with. An employer like Amick Farms. Visit countonamick.com to apply today.
Are you on the verge of foreclosure? Is your home in serious disrepair? Or do you just need to sell fast?
Are you overwhelmed with an inherited house or a rental and want to cash out?
Hi, I'm Delmarva Dave Schmidt.
And I'm your sister, Christina.
And we're local home buyers.
Here to help solve your problems. We'll get you an as-is, fast cash offer on any type of property anywhere on Delmarva in any condition with no required repairs or commissions. Call or text today.
Or visit delmarvadave.com.
I'm Nathan Hudson from Laurel, and I utilize the USDA's Wetland Reserve Easement Program to improve water quality and wildlife habitat on my farm. Wetlands improve water quality by filtering sediments and chemicals while providing food and shelter for wildlife. If you have at least 10 acres, you may be eligible for 75% or more of the fair market value and restoration costs for placing an easement on your wooded or ag lands. To learn more about this program, stop by your local USDA Service Center.
Have you bought a house in the last decade, but it's just not quite big enough? At Paul Davis, we can design and build you a brand new addition or remodel your whole home from start to finish. With over 50 years experience of building and restoring homes, we've made the process quick and easy while making it affordable. Call Paul Davis today, and one of our design consultants can be at your home as soon as tomorrow to give you a free estimate for your new addition or whole home remodel. Or visit our new showroom in Salisbury, Maryland, 100 Marvel Road.
After receiving more than 200 entries this year from schools across the state, DelDOT has announced the winners of this year's Name That Plow contest. This was the 3rd year of the contest that encouraged students to submit entries in honor of snowplow operators and technicians who work hard to keep our roads safe throughout the season. From Rehoboth Elementary School, 4th grader Sophia won with her creative name, Ice Blady. I love that. Then over in Kent County, a kindergartner named Parker had an awesome, and you can see him on the screen here, he came up with the name Melton John.
Man, that's going to be a lyricist we're going to be paying for later. All right, Kathy, you're our winner, our Orsted camera right now. We're at 40 degrees, and we're looking forward to dropping to the mid-30s. Finally, here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling exclusive 10-day forecast.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you for joining us for Coast TV News at 11. For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next. We'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.